in Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Aaron.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moye. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Also available on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app.
And it's hashtag Wealth Wednesday. Apparently in my live to the studio, I thought it was Thursday. So hashtag
Feels like Thursday.
It's Wealth Wednesday, and we are talking about the one thing. Apparently, I need to reread the book, The One Thing to Stay Focused.
Well, maybe that wasn't your one thing. Like keep track of the weekdays.
Yeah, right. We come together each day to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, align with universal law, and have amazing guests here.
Yes.
Here in La La Land.
I know. Look at that group back there.
Absolutely. We're so excited to welcome our very special guest this morning. Hello, everyone back in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've got the millennial realtor in the house. Hey, Ed, how are you today?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
We're great. We want to know, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, honestly, it's sad, but I pick up my phone. As a millennial realtor, as a millennial that I am, you know, I go to my phone. This is where my business is. This is how I really kind of navigate throughout my day. My phone dictates me and tells me what to do. So it's sad, but that's how it goes. But that's how I have a successful day and have a successful business. So.
There you go. Honesty is a virtue.
Honest. That's right.
Virtue.
I appreciate a hardworking realtor.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. Well, thanks for being with us today. Joey Vieira is in the house, hot off ABC's Reef Break, and Dora. Oh, we love the adventure that is Dora. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So how does an actor here in Hollywood start his day? What's your morning routine?
Morning routine. I've got a child, so it's a bit, it's fun. I start with basically waking up, going downstairs, making myself a coffee, and then probably 30 minutes later, my wife will text me a little meme with a coffee cup. So I'll make her a coffee, and then about 30 minutes after that, my child gets up, we get him ready, I take him to school, and then I go straight to CrossFit, work out for an hour, and then get home and start my social media.
I thought for sure you'd say get home and go to sleep. That's a full morning.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
Well, thanks so much for being with us on Wealth Wednesday. There's no greater wealth than your health. Dr. Laura Lyle is with us today. Good morning, Dr. Laura.
Good morning.
Thank you for being with us. So what's your morning routine? How do you start your day?
So my kids are grown. So my oldest is 29. I don't have the routine of a couple of them in this room, but I'm fortunate enough to wake up and think about gratitude. I start my day every morning before I even open my eyes, thinking about what am I grateful for. I've learned in the medical field, we actually just saying those words, we don't even have to answer the question, we can improve our health and wellness. So I start that way. I do get a cup of coffee, usually. I will be admitting to that. And you know, sometimes I'll use something to meditate or just trying to get through the day started because I want it to be an organized day. I find that to be much easier to be able to handle all the complexities of taking care of patients.
Love that. What are you most grateful for today?
Being here. I'm excited to be here, sharing the word about what we're doing in our practice and meeting all of you.
I love that. Somebody sent her the memo.
Exactly. Well, thanks for being with us, Dr. Laura. We've got Mark representing the Buddha Music Group this morning, raising our consciousness and vibes through art and music. How are you today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're so excited. We can't wait to meet the rest of your crew. First, tell us, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
I, too, also have a young child, a 2.5-year-old that just started school. So I get up, and being a former Marine, I get up a lot earlier than everybody else. So I start my day by going to yoga and get into a practice there for meditation as well, and then come home and spend a little time with my child before she goes to school. Make a cup of coffee for my wife as well, and then get rolling into the day.
Nice.
Fantastic. And thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Love it.
Thank you all so much for being with us. We're looking forward to continuing the conversation later in the show.
All right.
So what's
Wednesday,
up, guys? It's Wednesday.
You guys look positively glowing today.
It's
amazing.
It's a fake tan.
Thank you.
It looks amazing, though.
I have to give a special thanks to Brittany Zonekar. She has an incredible business that she runs called Tan Therapy. And let me just tell you, life is better with a tan. It just is, period. I feel better with a tan.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm brown and I agree. I feel better when I'm a little more tan.
There's just something about it when I look in the mirror, I think, oh, hey, you. You know?
That's true.
It's like cover up for your whole body. All your imperfections just get sprayed away.
It's a good point. It's like evens out the skin tone, right? That's
Yes.
one of the reasons I love it.
It does,
for sure.
it does.
So now I'm looking for an invitation to a pool party this weekend.
You're perfectly prepped for it now.
I
Jess.
am.
I'll be in Arizona. I think it's too hot to even go by the pool in Arizona.
In Arizona,
right
yeah,
now.
it's like 100. What is it, like 110?
I have
It's
no idea.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be
but
up at
it's
5.
dry heat. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to be by the pool. You have to be in the pool,
Yeah.
actually.
Actually, I saw my son's girlfriend's IG story, and it was like hailing because they have the monsoon type things that
yeah.
when it gets so hot that it starts like raining really heavy in the middle of the day. So
We'd have that happen a lot in Miami. It would
Right?
just pour and then all of a sudden it'd go
I love
away.
that.
Yeah. And we'd even get the rain showers, which I always thought were kind of beautiful. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we did have Girl Church last night. It was a fabulous night. I want to give a shout out to Emery Dubois, who gave a talk and fashioned me last night. It's on my stories, this red fabulous outfit that I think I might wear tomorrow or something just to show it off. And then also we have officially Amanda, who's another Soul Society leader that is in charge of the events officially. So we had a great evening all about love soul sessions, and it was...
What was the favorite part of the night for you last night?
Oh boy, so many. Just faces that I haven't seen in a while that we get to connect in person. That's
Yeah.
always the best part of it.
Yeah.
And also, you know what I love about the events is that, you know, we build content, and when you have an event that is actually themed, it's amazing what it develops as the content, because you layer it with different things, and all of a sudden you see it in different ways, the same content. And so it's really, it's because I'm a content creator,
Yeah.
so I'm constantly looking at how the content's
I
created.
love that. It's kind of the way I feel about my wardrobe. We were talking about that the other day, like layering.
Layers and
it's
layers.
amazing
Yeah,
how
that's right.
helpful
I've
it
been
is to layer.
not too many layers today. So, and let's talk about Wealth Wednesday. Today is all about wealth and the mindset, of course. There's a great book called The One Thing by Gary Keller. He had Keller Williams Real Estate, and is the only book that in our ministerial program we read that was not a philosophical or science of mind or a religious book. And it really is profound because it's really about his journey of getting focused. And like today, obviously, I wasn't so focused on my live thinking it's Thought Thursday. But so most people go out and they try and do everything. They try and self-develop. They try and do everything all good. And what happens is they become masters of nothing, or they get overwhelmed, burned out, whatever. And so, as Gary Keller says, to pick one thing that's like what is the one thing? Like, what's that one thing that you want to do? And he asks, I think, the most profound question, which is, what is the one thing that if I actually did it would make all my other things easier? That means things like delegate. What can you do today to simplify, to work towards that one thing?
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your, well, we know what your one thing is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, I think of it in terms of like the most holistic way possible. So I think in terms of life, and then I reverse engineer for my work life and then my personal life. But my one thing is really just happiness. But it's ever evolving in terms of what I can do today or this week or this year to move the business forward. So, yeah, what about you, Jess?
Well, let's be honest though, for most of us who are trying to achieve some semblance of balance in our lives, right? Whether it's in our relationships, our career, whatever it is, finances, we feel like we have to have a lot of things. And I understand that when you have so many things and you dilute your focus, you're not going to go as far or as fast. You'll be a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yeah.
But how do you choose that one thing? Because it could be very scary to let go of the rest and think, oh, I rolled my dice here, but I should have bet on green there.
Yeah. I mean, I think like for Gary Keller, his evolved, it changed his one thing over the years, and it finally became the book, because he's like, how do I get my message out? And it was through a book, and then he could go on a speaking circuit and da-da-da. So that was his one thing at that point in time. And I think we also have to think of, we may have a mission that's like, say your mission is, you know, to bring stories to life to the world, but you have to pick the one avenue that is the one committed thing, because just like, you know, the show, we're doing so well now, it's taken a lot of work, and we had to stay focused on committing to that one thing. So if we start one thing and then we stop and we go over here and stop, you know, then it's not going to be very productive.
And I would say also, it's such a great question, and I love what you highlighted there. And if you don't know what your one thing is, that is your one thing for now, right?
Right.
It's discovering what your one thing
Totally.
is. And one of the things I talk to lots of my executives particularly about is like having strategic planning sessions with yourself, like once a week, where you simply sit down, help to clarify what that one thing is, and then reverse engineer out like everything that doesn't directly contribute to that sort of end goal. The other thing you can do is you can sort of identify your happiness islands on one hand. Those are things that you naturally enjoy, that uplift you, that make you feel happy to be alive. And identify your success islands, which are those things that with very little time, energy, or effort, you do extraordinarily well. That overlap right there, that's where your one thing lives. Somewhere in that space, we can also call it a sweet spot.
The sweet spot.
Yes. Well, today is the perfect day for you to really have that strategic planning session with yourself. We talk a lot about the moon here in Lawland, and it's the new black moon happening at 11:11 Eastern.
What?
So at 8:11 tonight, This is really the time for you to get really clear and really focus on your one thing and set your intentions, because the new black moon is all about entering a new chapter in your lives.
And it's officially the end of Mercury retrograde.
Oh, wow. So everything should be
It's
just perfect now, right?
So now you're going to see a lot of memes that says, "What's your new excuse?"
I love that. Right? Totally true. This Mercury retrograde thing has been overwhelming. I never even heard
months
of it.
and months and yeah.
I know.
It was here forever, and all of a sudden we started talking about it in 2009.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like just keeping up with all of the different moon phases is got to be somebody's one thing. Like, how do you? I don't even know. Like,
It is.
It's overwhelming, this moon thing. I didn't know how big a deal it was until I moved to LA.
Right. Oh yes.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
an LA
such a
thing.
la thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, though. It's just a really good time for us to reflect. Whether that's being reminded by Mother Nature and the moon, I just appreciate that.
Yeah. So new moon is all logical. It's where the basically the polarity is not as strong, and so full moons where we get very emotional and you invoke what you want into existence. But during the new moon, you get really logical and really think it out.
This is helpful. So, is there something specific that you're like reflecting on, Erin?
I think it's like what Jess says. Just sit down with yourself and take some time to reflect and get clear of what's really important to you.
Yeah.
And knowing that or something greater will manifest.
Which I think is an important thing to remember, because most of my life has spent so much time trying to script things out, and that's never really gone that well. Yeah. Especially when you're trying to do something new. Like I was listening to this interview, again, it was Jay-Z, and he was saying basically that when you're trying to do something new, and you should always be trying to do something new, that you just simply can't know what to expect. And I think you say it well, Jazz. You say expect the unexpected.
Surprise! Remember
Yes.
that
Where's
one?
that?
Deirdre came on from Montecito. She's a spiritual teacher, amazing. Her husband wrote What to Believe, the documentary, and she said the theme of spirituality for this era is surprise. So expect the unexpected for sure. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to our amazing guests about how they are creating wealth in their lives. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm Jez Moyer, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
I'm so excited to be here on the couch with all you amazing people.
Yeah.
I'm just in complete awe. Thank you.
Happy to be here. And for those who don't know what goes on, this is a big old, there's a lot going on here. You do this every day.
Live.
God bless you guys. I mean, people, there's a lot going on.
Thank you for having me. This is an awesome studio.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, you
I feel that, actually. I can feel that.
How exciting Motivation Monday. And the guests this morning have been incredible.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you.
And we have Rachel Boston, who is in The Last Bridesmaid on Hallmark. It actually is dropping tomorrow, the 22nd, right?
It is. Tomorrow night's our premiere.
Woo! How
Congratulations! I am so excited to welcome Jason and Ashley Waller to the show. Congratulations on the new beginnings. We're so excited for the premiere on MTV tonight.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
The book is actually being shipped out today. It published this week.
Congratulations.
You guys are the first show that I've actually done talking about the book.
I think this is my first time my book's been up on TV. This is awesome.
Our friends at Universal Pictures have a special delivery for us this morning from a tethered himself. Have you seen the film Us by Academy Award winner Jordan Peele?
You know, I'm sitting here next to you guys, and it's just like, this is a powerful moment for me. Like, you know, I'm humbled by it, because it's like I'm sharing this movie with you guys, and you know, it's moving for me.
What are you most grateful for today?
I am so grateful to be here and to have the opportunity to be with all these wonderful, badass boss babes and with all of you. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to share the positive messages out in the world, because I think the world really needs it right now.
What we've done and thanking me for the contribution we're making to their lives.
Oh,
and I thought,
nice. That's
this
great.
is what my purpose is. This is why I was born. Now,
Show it off.
up to you to choose the winner. Is it Annie? Is it Haley?
That's why I like this show. You know, years ago I did the Dinah Show, which is Dinah Shore, and it was a daytime show.
And it was kind of like this. And it was just like very up, and it was all positive stuff. They didn't bring negative stuff to the audience. And that's why I feel with this show, it's very relaxed. You know, it's very professional, but it's quite a bit of fun.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch. Binge watch, or you can binge watch. Please binge watch.
You can binge watch and binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
First TV experience. I'm so happy I did it with you.
That will inspire, uplift, and empower you anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La. On Wealth Wednesday, we know that our health is our greatest wealth. So Dr. Laura Lyle is in the house. She's the founder of Lyle Wellness Partners, and you deal with hormone therapy and stuff primarily?
I deal with lots of things.
Yep.
So I like to think of us as 21st century medicine, preventative health and wellness. I do have a large focus on hormone replacement because I started in this industry back in a time when most people don't realize this, but we didn't have over-the-counter products in the 80s like vitamin D and glucosamine. Wow. So I'm a compounding pharmacist, 33 years, and I was out 12 years. And in that 12 years, I studied European, Canadian ways of doing bioidentical hormones back at the time when it was really considered almost witchcraft. You know, people really didn't understand it. But so I've had a lot of years in this industry, and then I went back to be an MD and have been doing that for the last couple of decades. So it's not just hormone replacement because it all goes together, right? Yeah. So I like to do root cause medicine. I like to get to the problem. I like to fix the problem, and I like to help people get off medication.
Oh, I
and
love that.
You know, it's key. It really is.
So tell us, what is the primary thing when people come in? Obviously, like a lot of people probably need to cleanse. They need basic vitamins. What are the primary things that people generally have going on?
So most of the time, you know, obviously fatigue, I think is a big complaint, not sleeping well. I think 90%, I swear, of America right now is not sleeping well. So when we do look at their blood work, we'll look at trend analysis. So I tend to be a vampire. I think someone said, you're like a blood whisperer, right? I like to look at the blood work and also then do trend analysis. So I'm about not looking at a moment in time. I think where our practice is different and what we're doing is I'm a little bit like a stockbroker because I like to take numbers, put them into a spreadsheet, and I like to get predictive value on trends and then predict what we need. So how do we know if vitamin D is working? How do we know if you need fish oil? Right. The only way to know is to get that objective data.
You may be related to our executive producer.
Yeah.
He's a numbers guy.
Is he a numbers guy? You'd be amazed.
I find it very interesting when you said most of America is not sleeping well.
Yes.
I am one of those statistics. Yes. I don't remember the last time I slept through the night.
Correct. I hear this day in and day out. And it's over the last decade, it's becoming more of a problem. I do think we're all on social media up at night. We're getting a lot of blue light and ambient light. And so, you know, one of the things that we tell patients, obviously we all know we should be turning them off, but we aren't all willing to do that. But there's like a set of goggles you can wear. I don't know if you've heard of True Dark. It's a pretty interesting concept, but they're actually red glass. They're glasses that block the blue light, and you wear them about 30 minutes before you go to bed. Oh. It's pretty cool.
Now that's sexy.
No, let me tell you, it's not sexy. I was gonna say, you look a little like Bon Jovi when you know, yeah, it's not for the sexy look. But one of the things it can do is stimulate melatonin, your own melatonin, so that you can go to sleep easier.
Wow. Yeah. So can you just take melatonin? Is it bad?
You can. Actually, melatonin is very good. You know, there's studies working in the dementia arena. You know, it is, but some people get very groggy from melatonin.
For sure.
So you kind of have to find that right dose and what works.
So on the flip side, though, about. We can't sleep, but we're trying to stay awake all day because so many of us are trying to build our businesses or our brands. So how do we balance that?
Well, I think the most important thing is we have to do, I love your philosophy and asking everyone what they do in the morning, because truly we all have to start carving out 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, clearing the clutter, because in doing so, we can accomplish a lot more, right, if we can control our stress. And so part of the things I believe we have to do is not only eat clean, which I think we all know. We're in LA, a lot of people eat very clean here. it's a good thing. Exercise moderate, I wouldn't say over exercise, but also making sure everything's balanced. And you know, one of the things in women's health, for example, low progesterone makes you very tired. So, or you know, not able to sleep at night, so it'll make you tired during the day. So, you know, you have to know your numbers.
So what do you do? Because I think probably for me, I'm probably getting lower progesterone. Can I do something, just eating more something, or do I have to take?
I recommend taking exactly what your body needs. And so that can be mixed into the exact formula for you, because remember, all of us are different. And so looking at the numbers, having it written in a formula, and that's, you know, where we come in and, you know, help to do that.
I wonder too, I talk to a lot of guys and, you know, they struggle, women too, with testosterone, right?
Definitely.
And so what's the cause of that? Is that mostly stress? Is that diet? Is it all of it, all of the above and more?
So it is a combination. You know, it's interesting, I'll see young people with low testosterone. A lot of times they're sedentary, maybe they're putting on a little extra weight, they don't have the healthiest habits. But you know, in men, it declines gradually over time. In women, we fall off a cliff, okay? So it's very interesting when we're in what we call our second prime, like in our 50s, we're supposed to be confident and, you know, we know what we want in life and we're go-getters, and then all of a sudden, the hormones drop. So, you know, in men, it's more gradual. But replacing testosterone, there's a lot of different modalities to do that, but it's critically important in men's health too.
So for men who are experiencing something like that, what are some of the symptoms that reflect the dropping of testosterone?
So interesting, younger men oftentimes don't come, people think it's sex drive. Like every male will equate sex drive with testosterone, but actually achy joints sometimes, they'll have weight gain, they'll have insomnia, and we're hearing a recurring theme here, insomnia, 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 women's health, men's health, when hormones aren't balanced. And because if you think about it, it's key to having your energy during the day, and if you're tired and sluggish, you're not going to be sleeping well at night.
What initially sparked your interest in this field?
You know, believe it or not, my mother, she's 84. She's the longest standing patient I've cared for. And I came out as a young pharmacist in the 80s, and she was getting put on a script for Premarin. And at the time, I had heard it wasn't going to be a good idea to take synthetic hormones. And so I researched and found a better way, because my grandmother died before I was born of bilateral breast cancer. So that was where I started, and that was 30 some years ago. And you know, it's been fun to watch the industry go from maybe 40 or 50 of us in the country working in that industry of compounded hormones to now, you know, thousands of doctors attending meetings to learn.
Has that surprised you, or did you expect that along?
You know, I always believed that it would become mainstream over time. But sometimes when you're bucking a system, you know, you just have to be, when you know and you're set on your convictions, I always believed it was the right way, and now we've come full circle. You know, they actually have just overturned the whole 2002 Women's Health Initiative, and estrogen actually is now not touted to cause breast cancer. These are huge findings.
Huge. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge, Dr. Laura. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you.
So our website, www.lylewellness.com, and they can, that's the easiest way, and follow us that way.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned back
Thank
for more
you
on
so
Good Morning
much.
Wildland.
All right.
Hi, I'm Dr. Erin, host of Good Morning Lalan on EverTalk TV. I'm a doctor of divinity, and I absolutely love being a host. And the reason why is because each day I wake up and I come into the studio, and I'm always blown away by the amount of different stories coming together. My mission is to awaken 1 billion people. And I have been blown away to realize that it's not just the spiritual people, that we talk to people that are on reality TV, we talk to actors, we talk to people who have had incredible stories and trials and triumphs, and there's a common denominator between all of them. Every single person desires to have a greater life and awaken to the best life they can live. I'm Dr. Erin, and I'm a host on EverTalk TV.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome Joey Vieira to the show. You may recognize him from ABC's Shark Reef and, of course, from the new live action Dora. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Early morning, Hollywood. I'm back from Australia, so I'm here for a few days and then back off to Australia.
What were you doing in Australia?
I've been working on Dora until late last year, and then all this year I've been working on Reef Break. On ABC. So that's been filming on the Gold Coast.
So tell us about your role in Dora.
In Dora, well, I play Diego's father. So Dora's uncle, Tio Nico. And it's a story on my end, but with my family. It's about moving from the jungle, from a small town, small village, into the big city. You know, sort of to make that better, that decision to sort of hopefully better your family and give them more opportunities moving into a big city. So we move into Los Angeles. And then years later, she comes to visit, and then goes on a little adventure, which you'll see in the movie.
Yeah. How much of that does that reflect your own life? What was your journey into the entertainment business?
Yeah, well, it's funny. So my parents are from a small island off the Portugal coast called the Azores Islands. So they moved out here in the early 70s. Same thing, coming out to better their life and also hopefully, give their kids more opportunity when they got older. And so my journey and sort of what that shows, that movie's journey is very similar to my life. So for me, just reading the character, reading the story, I was like, wow, that's what a lot for me. But that's what a lot of us do, that have come over. It's like they see America as a place to come out and hopefully, just excel in something, because there are more opportunities.
These are not small projects. So how's this been? How's it been received? What's it like?
Look, it's been fun. I can pretty much say, like, for the 3 months of being on set in Australia, every day, everybody had a smile on their face. It was just a fun project. Reuniting with everyone during the premiere over the weekend. Same thing, from James Bobman, the director, to Isabella Moner, Jeffrey Wahlberg, who plays my son. Everyone was just so great to come back together, and it's been a complete positive experience. And then watching the movie and watching my son jump up and down from his seat, watching the movie. It's just such a great family fun film. I think in a time where we need more family fun projects.
Right, so true.
Yeah.
So exciting. So what's next for you, Joey?
We've wrapped on Reef Break, but I think we're on the 4th episode, airing this Thursday on ABC, and that will go for 13 weeks. And then I've got another project that's coming up called Welcome to Wriggleton, which is The Office meets like the middle of Australia, and I play an American cop in the middle of Australia.
Wow.
But it's a fun comedy, like a behind-the-scenes sort of footage, like The Office.
Yeah. So back to the family thing. How do you manage that? How do you I was wondering, what's it like for an actor that goes off to SAG, goes off, travels off?
Yeah.
What's that like for your family? How do you deal with that?
Well, my wife is also in the industry, so it's a bit of a juggle. She's a boss lady. So she's, she makes
shout out.
No joke. She really is, and she's amazing. And she's got, she wears a cape. In my eyes and in my son's eyes, she really does. So we juggle. And when I'm not on set, that's most important thing is getting that drop off and that pickup. So that is my focus. And then my world sort of evolves like before that, in the middle of that. And then once I have him home, it's about homework and getting him fed and showered before she gets home.
People might not know that. They might not know that. It's like when you're a parent, it's like all about who's picking up, who's dropping off.
It's
everything.
Logistics.
Yeah, and when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh shit, I got to call grandma. And it's like, hey, she's a 40-minute drive. So I'm like, so I've been called to set. Can you come and pick? And then if that doesn't work, then you're calling like another student's parent. You're going, hey, can you pick up my kid on your way, but can you get there at 7:30 a.m. because I have to leave at 7:45.
So how do you stay balanced in keeping your mind right through all this? I mean, the dad, Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, it does, it can keep you up at night. Because you're like logistically trying to figure out how's that day gonna run, and like the most important thing in my life is my son, is my family. So if the poop hits the fan, that's the one thing. That's where I go, making sure he's okay, making sure the family's okay, and if that means not going to work or making some adjustments.
Well, now you can just put Dora on and you're right there.
That's right, exactly.
That's true.
Do both.
What a gift.
And he's absolutely loving that movie.
Oh my gosh.
So clearly, family is your one thing.
Yeah.
When did you discover acting to be your one thing professionally?
Geez, I think like a lot of people, when you're young, you're watching, programs, movies, and you're entertained and you're loving it, and you hope that, I don't know, just one day you do something. And I was studying theater. I was on stage. I was doing dance. So I was dating a girl who was in ballet, and so I was doing football in the afternoon and doing ballet with her in the evening. And I kind of liked being on stage and performing. And that's sort of where it led into the acting. And then when I was at university, I didn't quite know what to major in, because I didn't know what I liked. And I spoke to a director I was working with, and he said, look, major in what you love doing. I was like, well, I love acting. He's like, well, just major in that. Not everyone actually gets jobs in what they major in, but might as well enjoy the journey of being at university.
Smart.
So I did it, and went to Cal State University in Northridge, got my bachelor's in theater, and from there continued to study. Got an agent, started working commercials, bit of TV shows, films, just little bit parts here and there, but then mainly doing commercials. And I've loved it, but I did do the work. It wasn't like, all of a sudden I'm on a corner of a street and they go, oh my God, there it is.
They say it takes 12 to 15 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah, it took a little, almost times two. But yeah, almost times two.
Wow.
So
and voila, here you are.
Here I am. And I haven't stopped working, so
That's amazing.
Yeah.
In itself.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It is. It's, yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm like, I'm pinching myself. Is this really happening? Yeah, what's funny too is in this industry, you really don't know. It's a guess, even for you guys and what you guys do, right?
Yes.
You come out, you audition for the roles, right? They're job interviews. And we have a job interview almost every day. And the job will begin and end usually on that day.
Right.
So, and my parents were like, so how long are you on this job for? I'm like, for a day. Like,
hey.
There's zero stability
how does that
or
work?
security in this.
So when's your next job? I'm like, well, I have to go to more job interviews. And they're like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
So fascinating.
It's not, it's just.
And it's one of those industries where the more jobs you have in a year, the better. Not like
that's correct. Yeah, it's like, you've been fired how many times? You've been let go.
You've had 52 jobs this year? Because you're happy about that?
Yeah. We're basically, we're let go. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. It's like, you're let go. It's like, I'm back on unemployment. But it's stressful, and then it gets not. But it's one of those things where you take a dive, and for me, I was enjoying the journey. And it didn't matter how long it took, and I had support from family, from friends. My wife's a huge supporter, and now having a son, and he's an amazing supporter. It's like, it's funny because I take my kid to school. My wife is working probably 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, because she's a producer, so it's.
Well, maybe you should start practicing more gratitude. I think that you kind of in that area for sure.
So well, I kind of strut myself to 3B and drop my kid off.
So if people want to take the journey with you online, where can they find you?
So the Joey Vieira is my Instagram. Joey, I think it's all caps Joey, little case A, all caps Vieira on Twitter. But Joey Vieira, like the trickiest part is my last name, which is Vieira. The 3 vowels in a row.
Whoa.
It throws everybody off.
I'm sorry about that.
No. Well, Meredith Vieira has the same last name.
She paved the way.
Thank God.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Joey. We appreciate you. Congratulations on Dora. Stay tuned. Back for more.
Thank
Good Morning
you.
La La Land.
Thanks.
I'm Jasmine Woyeg, host of Good Morning La La Land on EverTalk TV. As a little girl with big dreams, I couldn't stop talking. I turned that into a career of premieres and red carpets and even a talk show. And recently, I had my aha moment. I was hosting a live event. A woman who represented a national cancer support community gently pulled me aside from the glitz and the glam, and she thanked me for mentioning their program on my show. Because of those few words that I had spoke on air earlier that week, one of our viewers battling cancer reached out and got the financial and emotional support she so desperately needed. I'm so grateful to have experienced that moment, a moment that truly reflects how much conversation and community matters. We need more of what matters. It is my passion and purpose to create content and lead a conversation that will ignite the light in my community and empower them to live their best lives, starting today. I'm Jez Moyer, and I'm a host on EverTalk TV.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are all about Wealth Wednesday and having careers that we love. So Ed Stelak is in the house. He's a millennial real estate. You actually help realtors with their IG and their marketing. Is that what you do?
That is exactly what I do.
That's a brilliant niche. I love that.
Yeah, I just saw that there's a little bit of a gap between a real estate agent and the understanding of social media, which everyone has access to.
Like a huge gap?
Yes. A huge gap. So I figured me as the millennial, I'll make myself a little cool, catchy tagline. So millennial realtor, and helping real estate agents and real estate professionals around the world with the importance of social media and personal branding.
That is a one thing.
It is.
Yeah,
that's definitely one thing.
Was it hard building that as a brand for yourself?
Oh, absolutely. It took me 8 years to even
8
figure out
years,
what
yeah.
I want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I remember reading literally every book I could find on what I was going to do with my life and not really feeling like I had made any progress at all.
No, but you know what? Those were stepping stones.
Exactly.
Realizing, maybe that's not it. That's not it. All right, maybe that.
So how did you eventually discover that?
Yeah, so I worked with a few people to kind of figure out what it is that I'm actually strong at. And we see all these fancy quotes online, and one of my quotes that I made up, I swear, is if you're good at something, make that strength stronger. And so again, that's again my one thing, is making my strength stronger. What am I strong at? I don't know. I suck at accounting. I suck at this. I suck at that. So I know what I suck at. What am I good at? So I said, social media, personal branding, talking, social, okay, so let me focus on that. And that's what I did for the past 8 years until I realized, okay, now let me get into an industry where I can dress up, because I love dressing up.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I love it. And so I saw real estate, and I saw you can make money with it too. So I got into
bonus.
it. Yeah, that's a bonus. So I got into it, and that's when I realized the gap. So I got into it for the wrong intentions, to chase the money. But then I realized that I have a big poster in my home office that says impact over income. So I'm like, let me just make the impact first, and the income will come.
So what is the impact you would like to make?
Impact, I really just need to put my foot into the real estate industry for them to realize, here's my stamp. I am the branding, the personal branding guy, the social media guy to go to. And I want to evolve marketing and branding of real estate. It's so blanded and so conventional, and it's just like it needs a little more life.
So let's talk about that. Where do you see the marketing and branding going in real estate, other than where it is now, which I don't even know where people, I guess they just go on Google and go, how do I find a house? And they start going on the regular
So there's a lot
MLS.
There's these real estate websites like Zillow, TrulyRealtor.com, whatever you have. However, when it comes to actually thinking of a real estate agent, don't you want to be the first realtor to be thought of? And there's a name called TOMA. It's a word called TOMA, Top of Mind Association, and I talk about that so much. How do you become on top of mind when someone thinks, oh, I need to buy or sell real estate?
Especially for the generations like me who are looking for real estate, where we find our hairstylist or, is on Instagram. So why not look on Instagram for a realtor?
Absolutely. Right? Social media right now is one of the biggest traffic absorbing places right now, platforms. I mean, there's so much traffic on Instagram alone. So that's why I focus on Instagram versus Twitter or Snapchat or MySpace,
TikTok.
Whatever there is, or TikTok. You know what? TikTok is going to be the best thing, and I'm already on that. I'm the only millennial realtor on there. Literally, I'm like this 25-year-old kid with these 15-year-old kids watching my stuff. But you know what? Those are my future buyers. Those are my future sellers. I need to relate to them, and that's where people go wrong. You need to understand what your consumers want, not what you want. And
so isn't TikTok about like you dance or you sing or something?
TikTok, you can just make videos.
So you can do it on real estate, or how would you do that then?
So there's a lot of trends going on. For example, the bottle cap challenge, right?
Oh, yes.
So
What's that?
So the bottle cap challenge, where like you put a bottle or someone's holding a bottle and you have to like kick it off, the cap
Kick the
goes
cap
off.
off, just loosely put put on the
Oh,
top
that's
there.
easy.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Hey, Aaron, do you accept said challenge?
Try it out.
No.
No, but so that's like a trend going on right now. So a lot of people are hopping on that trend and trying to do the same thing. So I did the same thing, you know, me in my suit. I just tried to kick it off, failed a few times, but you know what? I relate to people and people relate to me. And that's my indirect branding, because in that video, as much as it was trendy, as much as it was relevant to the trends today, in that video, indirectly, I said, hey, I'm a realtor. People didn't even see it. There was a house in the background, I was in my suit, and then in my caption, I just said, now that I have your attention, here's a house that I'm selling.
So now that you do have the attention of these millennials, what can they do to set themselves up that they can invest in real estate? What should we start doing now, today?
You got to start realizing what you want your future to look like. I mean, a lot of millennials think renting is the way to go, and they think it's the easiest way to go, depending on which market you're in. Of course, every industry and every market is a little different. So Los Angeles versus New Jersey, where I am, much different. Here, you buy a $400,000 house, you get lucky if
You tear
do
it
so.
down.
You tear it down. Over there, you know, you're kind of living a little bit more of a luxury life with 400,000, you know, so that's the little difference. So I can't tell, you know, a millennial here, hey, buy a house. With what money? Over there, I say, go buy a house because it's the same as renting. It's if not better. You know, so you can own a house versus renting, which you're paying someone at the end of the day, paying their equity. You know, so a lot of millennials don't know that though, and that's the education that I want to bring. Like, yo, I'm a millennial, I get it, I understand.
And a lot of people can buy in another state and still rent here and rent that house out, and at least they're building some equity.
Absolutely, absolutely. You want to buy a house in Detroit, just go sell your car.
It's true. There are beautiful homes for sale in Detroit, Michigan for $10,000, $20,000.
So that's how you do it. You buy a house over there and you rent here. Yeah.
And then you got to fly to Detroit at some point.
Yeah.
No, we love Detroit.
No, absolutely, but that's just the example. So
It's really great niche, though. I think it's interesting because we're talking about the one thing, and
one
clearly
thing,
you're
absolutely.
got focus, and the more niche you get down, it's great.
Absolutely. You got to know what you want to do. You want to know what you're passionate at, what you're strong at, and once you realize it, just hone in on it and delegate everything else. I read one favorite book of mine, 4-Hour Workweek by
Great
Tim
book,
Ferriss.
amazing book.
That book has changed my life, my business,
Totally.
my whole perspective on everything.
It's been around forever, too. He was like way ahead of his game.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
big time.
Yeah.
Big
Absolutely.
time. And
So
everything
good.
that I was not good at, I delegated or I automated or whatever else, and whatever I was good at, I do myself.
So tell people where they can find and work with you.
Instagram. I'm always on Instagram, at Ed Stulak, EDSTULAK.
Awesome.
So same thing across all platforms, social media platforms, Ed Stulak.
Great
The
work.
Millennial Realtor. Stay tuned. We're back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm Jez Moyer, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
We all crave connection.
I'm a big fan of videoing a podcast.
The impact that I'm having people on a podcast is I'm having more impact on those people than I ever did in news.
We want to be heard, but we also need to listen.
Podcasts. I understand they are red hot.
It's actually remarkable how scary to me podcasting is. Everybody should have a podcast.
I really wondered why. I mean, we've been doing this for 12 years. Nobody has done this in other arenas.
We have to change the conversation to happiness over financial success. It was like, we have to. We have to.
Honestly, it was meeting new people who had already heard about what we have done and thanking me for the contribution we're making to their lives.
Oh,
And I thought,
nice. That's
this
great.
is what my purpose is. This is why I was born.
Yeah.
I think this is my first time my book's been up on TV. This is awesome.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch. Binge watch. You can binge watch. Please binge watch. You can binge watch.
And binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
that will inspire, uplift, and empower you. Anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land on Wealth Wednesday. It's all about feeling good, raising our consciousness so we can get in high vibes, so that we can manifest a lot of wealth. So today we have the music group in the house. We're going to raise our consciousness with some great vibes. How are you guys?
Awesome.
Well, clearly you are in total alignment with what we do here at Good Morning La La Land. But I'm wondering for each of you, what put this mission on your heart and how did you come together as a group?
I started the business about 2012 when I really had an awakening. I've been in and out of the music business since I was little, really came into my own about awakening and really, contributing a positive message to the planet. While doing that, I met these fine gentlemen and heard their music. You got conscious hip hop, you got global yoga music. And I was like, you guys are right in alignment. We all, became brothers, and it's been an adventure.
Tell everybody your first and last name just so everyone.
Mark DeVoe,
Yep,
the manager of Buddha Music Group.
Kiyoshi Shelton, Dave Kemp.
Yep. Dave, we've been friends for years on
Yes,
social media.
absolutely.
I just realized right here and right now.
Divine timing.
That's right, of course.
Facebook.
Not real unless it happens on social media.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what prompted each of your journeys to conscious music? Why conscious music, and when did that start for you guys?
Well, for me personally, I grew up in a musical family. My father was a music teacher for many years. Also grew up in the church, so it was like I started out rapping and writing poetry about the message of Christ and God, and so really inspirational messages. At the same time, I grew up listening to a lot of underground hip hop, so it was very socially conscious driven. So just incorporating a lot of the foundational themes of bringing people together and social rights and justice, and helping people get inspired to live a better life. It was always a part of the messages in my music. So,
Right. Yeah.
Who were some of your influences when you were young?
The Roots, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Common, Saul Williams, amongst many others.
What about you?
Well, I was classically trained on the piano growing up, and similar story. I have a mother that taught me piano as a child, and I recognized how healing it was if I was having my emotional up and down to just sit at a piano. And my piano teacher told me at a young age, I just started composing and improvising. And it was fantastic because then that let me, when I had my awakening through yoga, that I began to design music specifically for meditation and yoga, of course, and the movement and the breath and how we can get present in our body and just breathe.
Tell us about the megahertz and the different vibrations that resonate and what the intention behind them.
Yeah, well, I design music and so does Kiyoshi along with our chakras and our energy centers. And I feel that in general, it can tap you into whatever you're feeling. If you want to have that groundedness, then you can listen to our root chakra song, and later we'll perform ethereal, which is the crown chakra. And so it's about
different
the frequencies
megahertz
and the
and frequencies.
vibrations.
Yeah.
So for those people who are watching though, they might not have ever even heard the term chakra. And they're thinking ethereal crown chakra. I mean,
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Hey, we're in LA, come on.
We went on a lot of weed.
It might be common terms here in La La Land,
Yeah.
but how would you describe that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we're from the Midwest. He's from Michigan. I'm from Iowa. And
Michigan
You're
girl.
from Michigan. Yeah,
Michigan. Midwest.
Yeah, and what we would say is there's pathways for us when we have these emotions and feelings in our body, and there's times when you're all in your head. We could even just go as simple as saying sometimes you're feeling something in your heart, sometimes you're really mental about something, and we like to bridge that gap and that distance. And the chakras also, when it comes to how we express ourselves and how we can go from the root up to the crown, I think in layman's terms, it's just a way to feel embodied and to be clear on who you are.
We're always like, you're so in root chakra right now. So what are you going to play for us?
This is a track that is called Ethereal, and it was co-produced with a dear friend of ours, Ann Tyler. She's a yoga instructor, and Kiyoshi and I both have our 200-hour teacher training, and so this is the crown chakra.
Nice. Yeah, let's do it.
There we go.
mantra. You want to sing along? Asatoma sagamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityumam vritam gamaya.
So what does the mantra mean?
It's about being tapped into the divine within and to go to that ethereal realm, from the material to the ethereal.
Oh yeah. And then back to the material. That's where I'm at, baby.
Mother universe, rays from the sun moving through the earth, feeling as light as a feather, forever surrender. We treasure what's to occur. The spirit within, a miraculous gift, synchronistic with permission to live. Freely I fly. We're beyond our time. Feeling the essence of love. Seeing these blessings ascending above.
Yeah!
Oh, those
Love
are some
that.
serious vibes.
I'm loving that.
Thank you.
Yes, you guys just vibe like together. It's amazing, incredible. How did you guys meet?
We met about 8 years ago in the Encinitas tribe.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know, Encinitas is a part of San Diego County where a lot of people that are into yoga, healers, visionaries. Yogananda brought it to the Western world.
It's like quintessential California.
Completely.
Right.
And the day we met, we were in the studio and we actually wrote a song together. And this song will be on the third album that I'm launching called Radiant Energy. And we're doing a big show, 11/11, at the World Beach Center in San Diego.
Of course you are! Of course you are! Well, tell us about the significance of 11/11.
11/11. So in the conscious spiritual community, it's there's a lot of people really embrace a lot of numerology. So there's different numbers like 444, 555, 11/11, which is supposedly a transformational gateway to. It's like a how would you explain this?
It's like ascension,
it's like
alignment.
Ascension. It's like you're on the right path. It's like if you see 11/11 a lot, it's like you're on the right path.
Alignment.
I
It's
see
like
that
magic.
all the time. All the time when I was growing up, you'd walk past the microwave, 11/11. Next day on the oven, 11/11. You know?
That's fantastic. I wonder, I think a lot of what I love about you guys, first of all, that you're just so talented. And you're also so heart-centered. But in addition to that, you're like really pre-paving the way for other folks that want to do conscious music, right? And I know a lot of people struggle with that because they want to do conscious music, but they're concerned they won't be able to reach the masses in the way they could if they just did something different. So what's that journey been like for you guys to sort of step out in faith and trust and do the conscious music that you love and you feel like could help heal the world?
There's definitely a shift happening in the world, and as I mentioned, I was a former Marine, disabled former Marine, and if it wasn't for these guys, if it wasn't for Dave, he's actually helped me, put me on the path of plant-powered living and eating plant-based. Seeing that and opening that up and seeing that transformation, not just with health, but with the community and the consciousness around music, it really helps. So we do a lot of things that help veterans. We do a lot of things that you can even see it in the military now with all the therapies going on with PTSD, and we're really conscious to that. And the only way we can really transform the planet is to start with the music, start with the vibration, and start with the young kids. And Dave being a teacher, Kiyoshi being a rap coach, doing all those things, they're bringing that not just to the world, but they're bringing it to the children as well.
I'm so grateful for the work you're doing, especially with the veterans and around PTSD. But how do you kind of intro this community who might think, ooh, consciousness, spirituality, might be the Marines, it might be the Midwesterners. I mean, for some people, it's a very new experience and it might make them uncomfortable.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I explain it because I'm back east, Sicilian, Catholic born. This is how you live your life, and that's it. Stay in this box, and that's it. So for me, to be able to show somebody that by getting them to an event, just get them to an event. It's really what I call like the soft costs. They come to an event, they might be maybe had a stressful day at work, and then they go home and maybe tuck their daughter in a little tighter, or give their wife a kiss, or and things that you don't see. And all of a sudden, and I've heard it time and time again from Marine and from other people that are not in that space, that it's amazing. And it's like, and it's coming to one of our events or listening to one of their albums, it's broken them open, or just a little bit. And that's all they need to be, is broken open a little bit, and then they kind of start to see that light, and they say, maybe I will go to yoga, maybe I will go start eating healthier, and stuff like that. So yeah.
Love that.
Thank you so much. Please tell
Thank
everyone
you.
where they can get your music.
Yeah, it's BuddhaMusicGroup.com, a brand new, fresh website that's up and running.
Yes.
Has all the stuff on there, and our Instagram, and as well as DTOmusic.com and KyoshiMusic.com.
Love that.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Appreciate
We
it.
are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. All of today's interviews are available as a podcast on iTunes. And play us out, Buddha Group.
We're waking up the world together. Have a beautiful day, you guys.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.
Synchronistic with permission to live. Freely I fly. Way beyond time. Feeling the essence of love.